Let's hope one of these books is gonna get me out of my reading slump, cause we be slumping. Hi everyone! Today's video is gonna be one of the classic TBR videos. Yeah, I realize August has been going for a little while, but I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm gonna be reading because I'm in a bit of a reading slump. I feel like everything that I pick up is not what I want to read. Nothing is real. That is rude. Are you done? You already woke me up at 6:30 in the morning, so let's be done. Lawnmower gone. I'm in a little bit of a reading slump. Everything that I'm picking up is not really drawing me in. It's starting to kind of feel more like a chore, like I should be reading and not like I want to read. So I'm hoping one of these is gonna help fix it. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of readathons, so I have decided to join 2 readathons that are just in the month of August, which is obviously the Readathin, hosted by Amanda and Donna. Obviously, links are in the description if you want to join. It's not too late. They have made the cutest bingo board for this kind of iteration of the Readathin, and it's kind of like a mix of life prompts and like stuff to do and keep you busy, and also obviously book prompts. So, and then I've also joined Livia's Audio August, which perfect for me. You guys know I love an audiobook at this time in my life. I'm always listening to an audiobook when I'm going to work, and this just felt absolutely perfect. And it's also a bingo board. So that just matches my things, the things that I'm looking for in a readathon perfectly. So those are the 2 main ones. Obviously, I'm also still doing the Readalong from Claire's Creative Corner. I have yet to finish Malice again. It's one of those things where I did just read Malice, so I'm kind of restarting in the way that I figured out how to read these books, which for me is immersive reading, which is audio and physical. Keep that in mind. And with the readathons that are going along is quite handy. And so I'm behind, but I still really want to do this because they are great books and they are great writing. It's just that to read one of those books, you need to be in the right headspace and you need to be present, because the second you don't pay attention for a few minutes, you will miss some kind of detail. I keep referring to it as it's kind of like when you're watching or reading Game of Thrones with like 500 characters and 3,000 plot points. It's kind of the same thing. One other thing that I've decided to join, I don't know if it's gonna be to my own detriment, but I decided to join Donna in another read-along that she's doing, read-along, that she has decided to host, which is the Twilight read-along. I haven't read Twilight in a decade, I want to say. It's been a while. If you can tell, like, this is a new book. Look at the color. And this is my Twilight copy. So it's been here a while. As you guys can see, I used to have a bunny. She had some fun with this book. But this also has given me the opportunity. I'm just going to give you guys a sneak peek. I've already started it. And I've started highlighting for the first time in my life, because these books, they're like, obviously they're not in great condition. They're fine. They're gonna be fine. In my opinion, they're not the greatest, biggest literary works. So doing things with markers and pens and all that sort of stuff in those books feels kind of, no, it's fine. That's kind of already a little bit of my TBR. So we obviously have Twilight, which is this month. And then next month we go new moon and so on and so forth. And then obviously with the Readalong, I should be on Ruin. I am on Malice. But I did add it to the two readathons that I'm doing. So I added it to the Readathin, TBR, and the Audio August readathon. Because honestly, I don't really think they would mind me doubling up or tripling up even. This just needs another read. So let's start with the Readathin readathon. There's a lot of readathins, readathons, readalongs going on in this video. It's a tongue twister. The first prompt on the Storygraph challenge was a book based on the cover color of the last one that you read. The last book that I read or that I listened to was God of the Woods, which is mostly green. And as I said, I'm in a bit of a reading slump. So I feel like romance is a really easy, quick read that might just get me out of it. And so I decided for this prompt to choose Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I've already read The Unhoneymooners by her, and I really liked it. So I'm hoping that this is the next book of hers that I'm gonna love. I have no idea what it's about. Most of the books that I read these days, I just go in blind. Especially if they're recommended to me or if I hear about them in a video of one of the friends that I have here on the BookTube community, I kind of trust their opinion. So that's that one. And then obviously an author I've read from before, I decided to go a bit further and do an author and a book that I've read before, even this year. Don't judge me. Okay, so that's gonna be Malice, which I mean, Twilight could fit in this as well, so this could all just get switched up. The next prompt is nature related, and I decided to do the Spell Shop. It's a series, and I know what you're thinking. Alex, you have a whole bunch of series going on, and you were focusing on finishing those. Yes, I was. But I've been sort of seeing this book float around everywhere, and everyone seems to be really positive about it. So it's kind of got me curious. Again, have no idea what it's about. I think it's probably going to be about some witchy juju. I am desperately wanting it to be fall, so I'm hoping this gives me a little bit of that snippet. If you have read it, please let me know. Then the other book, the next prompt, is a book towards your yearly goal. If you've seen my Bujo update video, then you have seen that I did this kind of Goodreads challenge, like top 10 books that I want to get to. And one of those was When the Moon Hatched. Again, this was one of those books that was everywhere at a certain point. Mixed reviews, but I'm still curious and I still want to see what my opinion is on it. So yeah, let's just see, and let's see if it's worth the hype, if it's overhyped, whatever the case may be. The next prompt is thrifted, borrowed, or from a little free library. Now I decided to go with borrowed because I went to my library and I picked up Alice in Borderland Volume 2. I read the Volume 1 last month, and it's really interesting. I've never read a manga. I know, it's insane. I never read a manga, so this was kind of my first foray into this, and it was great. Just bottom line, it's great. It's really interesting because even when I read, I have a very visual mind. So the fact that there's obviously drawings in here and art in this made it even easier to kind of picture a movie in my head. So this, I'm very interested to keep going. I have already some theories, but I'm just kind of interested to see where we're gonna go. 1-star reviews poll pick. I do not have one yet because I still need to put my poll in the Discord of Donna's and Manda's Readathin little section. So we're not there yet. It also requires a little bit of research into 1-star books. So the problem with that is giving a whole bunch of 1-stars to pick from also means that I have to find the 1-star somewhere on my webosphere, and that sometimes can be a bit of a challenge. So it's not only looking for a 1-star, but also looking for a 1-star that I can get my hands on, whether audio, physical, ebook, anything. Which obviously I do like to read in English, and I'm not in an English-speaking country, so that makes everything sometimes a little bit more challenging. Could I read in Dutch? Sure. But there's this weird thing, or like Flemish is the language that I speak, but it just sort of feels really strange because obviously the way that we write in Flemish is not the way that we usually speak. It's a lot more polished. It's a lot more... So it just kind of feels like I'm reading... It's a lot harder for me because it feels fake. Obviously, a book is fiction. All of the things that I read are fiction. But it just kind of brings it home a lot more that this is not the way that we speak. So it makes it kind of difficult for me to get over that hurdle. That's kind of my little spiel on why I choose to read in English when it's not my native language. Okay, so the next prompt that I have is got mixed reviews, and for this I decided to go with Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. Now, Tessa Bailey is a romance author, and I think with many authors, you either like their writing style or you don't. So I think that's kind of where the mixed reviews come in. It's just, again, with being in a reading slump, I feel like having a romance is just kind of a safe bet. Okay, so the next prompt is meant to read in 2024. Now, for this prompt, I actually picked a book, the first book in a series that I wanted to finish and didn't. Big surprise there. But it's a Discovery of Witches, just FYI. It's a Discovery of Witches, which is a series. And I watched the show, which I loved, and then started on reading the books that was kind of going on at the same time. So I feel like I know what's going to happen in the books, and it sort of overtook the TV show, kind of overtook the reading that I was doing, and I just sort of let the books lay by the wayside. But I did really enjoy the books. I enjoy the writing, I enjoy the historical aspect of it, I enjoy all of that. And now that I've seen that the author, Deborah Harkness, right? Deborah Harkness is an amazing name, by the way. Now that I've seen that she's continuing even with some of the side characters, I really want to get to it, and I really want to be up to date. The next prompt is alliteration in the title. And I was really excited because I decided to go for 5 Broken Blades, which is by Maya Corland. Again, first book in a series. I know, I'm shooting myself in the foot for the last half of the year. But, I was on one of Hermes' sprints and they were talking about it and they were a big fan. And I kind of wanted to use the book for the Tarot Readathon, but as I mentioned, I was kind of in a reading slump, so didn't really get to it. So I'm hoping to get to it now, because I've only heard good things, and I'm hoping this is gonna be... It's sort of the way that I've been hearing about it. It's sort of about 5 assassins, or 5, they get sent out on a mission for the king. This could be completely wrong, but this is how I remembered it. And they sort of get linked up with each other, and little couples start forming, which really reminds me of Six of Crows. And if it has even the slightest twinge of that, even the slightest little vignette of Six of Crows, I will love this book, because I love Six of Crows. The fact that they canceled that series on Netflix is a big shame, because the crows in that were cast absolutely perfectly, and they deserve better. Is all I'm gonna say to that. The next is finish or catch up on a series, and for that one, I decided to go with Caught Up, which is obviously the second book that comes after Lights Out. I read Lights Out, or I listened to Lights Out, and really enjoyed it. And, well, I enjoyed the start of it, but the more we kind of went through, it kind of slacked off at the end, for me personally. So, but this one's got like a biker and it's got a whole thing. So I want to give this author a second chance and see if I like Caught Up. If I don't know if I'm going to read. If there's a third book, I don't know if I'm going to go for it. I don't really want to get hyped up in the beginning of a book and then just be disappointed by the time it ends. That's not a journey that I want to go through when I'm reading. So it might be final chance. The next prompt is a short book or a graphic novel. Now, obviously, I could have picked this one, but doubling up in the same readathon, I didn't really want to do. So I'm deciding to go with Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. Now, this comes after Serpent and the Wings of Night, a series that I also have yet to continue. I asked about this during some sprints, and I think it was Hermie, Livia, and I think maybe even Donna who said, like, this book is actually worth getting and reading in between the two books that you're supposed to, because oftentimes, like, novellas that go in between books aren't really, they're just filler, in my opinion. So the fact that a lot of my friends were telling me, nope, this one is worth it, means that this one obviously ended up on my shelf. Okay, now we're already at the final prompt of the Readathin, which is a book from your physical TBR, for which I decided to go with Red Rising. This is a series that is very, very highly recommended across the board. And there's a certain character in here. Is it Darrow? Might not be, but I think it might be Darrow. That people are absolutely in love with. And I mean, if you can give me a new book boyfriend, I'm never gonna say no. So this is honestly a book that I've been wanting to get to for a while. So yes, I know it's another series that I'm gonna be starting. Shut up. Okay. So that was it for the Readathin books. Now the next one that we have to go through is the Audio August Readathon, which obviously is all books that are gonna be on audio. The first prompt was a graphic audio. Now, I've had a few experiences with graphic audio. Some I've loved, some were kind of questionable. I have listened to Fourth Wing and Iron Flame on graphic audio. I have also listened to the first two Crescent City books on graphic audio. The graphic audio that I decided to go with was the first book in the Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. Again, Zodiac Academy is a series that is highly recommended to read. Again, I know, first book in the series, let's just not worry about it, okay? Next prompt is Summer Vibes, for which I decided to go with Better Than the Movies. Nothing Like the Movies is the follow-up, and that was also in the Goodreads challenge, so I'm hoping I like the first book, which means that I'm gonna go with the second book, and I can cross off one other from the list that I have made for myself that no one is telling me to complete but myself. Anyway, okay, so the next prompt that we have is Animal on the Cover, and for this one I decided to go with The Crimson Moth. Again, I've heard great things about this book. When I got my new shelves and I wanted to get some new books, I asked a lot of people, like, what do you think I should get? Especially a lot of people who know, like, my reading interests and, like, my reading habits. And I told them that this was one of the books that I was considering getting. And they told me, this is gonna fit right in my wheelhouse. Go get it. Go for it. So we're actually gonna get to it. Obviously, I also have a physical copy. So I think this is gonna be an immersive read. for me so that I can just like annotate it while we go along. The next one that we have is the LGBTQIA plus representation. And for that one, I've picked Somewhere Beyond the Sea. If you've seen any of the videos, you know that I loved House in the Cerulean Sea, and this is a follow-up to that. And I really want to revisit all of those characters. They give me such warm, fuzzy vibes. I just want to go back there and just want to bask in the loveliness that was that story. So, yeah, no notes, just really want to go back and enjoy my time there. The next one was a free space. This is one of those bingo boards where we get to do something fun for the free space. So I decided to double up on this one, and I decided to go for Caught Up, which I already said. Follow up to Lights Out. Let's see. It's kind of like final last draw for this author, but we'll see. The next prompt is a podcast, and for this I'm gonna do a bit of a cheeky one, because if you've seen my last video where I announced the whole bi-weekly bookmark, if you haven't seen it, please do. I'll link it somewhere on the screen here. I've been sort of getting into D&D. And when I say sort of, I mean I jumped in with both feet and I'm now completely immersed in D&D. I have a D&D journal that is not finished. I will show you guys a tour when I have. I sort of jumped into D&D with both feet and I'm now obsessed. I was already a little bit obsessed, but it's just full on. So yeah, I have decided to go with an episode of Critical Role, Campaign 2, because that is where I'm at in this current state. And I really just want to use that time to listen to another episode of Critical Role, which I'm really enjoying. If you guys... This is really rude, guys. They've been working in the park for like the entire week, and now that I have to film videos, they use the most loud things that I can. Okay, we're just gonna finish this video like this with that sound in the background, which I hope, now closing all the windows, that it's gonna be fine. So yeah, Critical Role it is going to be. Is it really like a podcast? No. Does it come in podcast form? Yes, it does. So it's a little bit of a cheek, but I think since Olivia is also in the D&D campaign that I'm currently in, she will forgive me for this. The next prompt that we have is a one-word title, which is going to be, again, Malice. Yes, we're tripling up on Malice because this is high on the having to finish it list. Obviously because I'm going to be immersive reading this fits. Because I'm going to be listening and reading along and just getting all the information into my brain in any way that I can so that I don't get lost further down the line. The next prompt is in audio that I own, which I decided to go with Blood of Hercules. I think if Donna is going to see this, she's going to be very happy, because this is one of her favorite books of the year. I got into Blood of Hercules. I think we did a read-along with a whole bunch of us. But for some reason, I couldn't get into it. And because Donna is so in love with this book, I feel like I should give it another chance. I soft DNF'd it because other things were going on. And I think we just need to try again, is my opinion. So we're going to try again in this month, and we're gonna see, and I really do hope that I enjoy it this time around. For the final audiobook that we're gonna be going for this month, it is for the colorful cover, and I decided to go with The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi. Do I know what this is about? Hell no. Is the cover absolutely gorgeous? Yes. Also, I looked it up on Storygraph, and it's got like an average rating of 4.35, which is really good. So I think this is kind of a safe bet. If I saw this book in the bookstore, this might be just a cover buy. Okay, and with that, we have rounded out the TBR for this month. Now, as I mentioned, obviously I also have Twilight to do, and I'm hoping that I might be able to squeeze in Valor and even Ruin, because we're supposed to be on Ruin when it comes to the Gwynalong. We have an entire month to read every single book with Twilight and with the Gwynalong. So I want to take my time with those. Obviously, with the Gwynalong, I have a little bit of a catch-up to do. But I feel like I just want to finish the series. The first one, the Fallen... what's it called? The Faithful and the Fallen series. I just want to finish by the time we're supposed to, which is the end of September. Which should be something that is that I'm able to do, because in September I have 2 weeks off, so I might squeeze some of the books in there as well, so that I'm at least ready by the time we go to the next series. Let me know if there's any other books that you would recommend that I maybe should switch out. It's still the beginning of the month, so there is room for change, and I'm just hoping that one of these books is gonna get me out of a reading slump and tell me why I think it's gonna be Twilight. I think the nostalgic vibes of Twilight might really do it. When I am posting this, we should have had our first edition of the bi-weekly bookmark. I hope you guys had fun. I hope it was a good edition. I'm hoping that some of you guys showed up there. If you haven't, please do catch the little announcement. We're gonna do another one next week. I know it's called bi-weekly bookmark, and I know it should have 2 weeks in between, but it kind of felt a little bit stupid doing an announcement and then waiting 2 weeks. So just to get the ball rolling, we're doing it 2 weeks, like 2 consecutive weeks. And then after the one next week, we're gonna be going by every 2. If you don't really know anything to comment, maybe comment some headphones for Audio August. Let's do that. Let's comment some headphones, and I will see you guys all in a video next week or on the bi-weekly bookmark sprints. Bye, guys.